Evgeni Malkin has decided against hitting the open market in free agency and is re-signed with the Pittsburgh Penguins on a 4-year deal. We'll take a look right now. Hey everybody, so star center Evgeni Malkin was less than 24 hours away from hitting the free agent market for the first time in his career at 35 years old, but ultimately has decided against that and has returned to the Pittsburgh Penguins in a last-minute deal, 4 years, $6.1 million per season for Malkin to remain in Pittsburgh. And that means that Crosby, Letang, and Malkin, Pittsburgh's big three, are all back with the Penguins. And this was a deal that, I guess some people were a little surprised, others weren't. There had been a lot of talk recently about Malkin testing the free agent market, and it seemed like him and the Penguins were still a little off as far as what they were looking for a contract. But at the end of the day, Malkin, who I never thought would ever want to leave Pittsburgh, ends up not leaving Pittsburgh, and certainly looks like he's probably going to finish his career with the Penguins, just like Letang and Crosby. And overall, I'm not too surprised by this. So we got the news last night. Elliotte Friedman announced at 11 p.m. Eastern time last night, Pittsburgh has re-signed Evgeni Malkin, 4 years, $6.1 million. I guess Malkin's agent had been kind of putting the feelers out there as far as what was going to be offered in free agency, if he were to go hit the open market, and it really wasn't anything better than this. So at the end of the day, Pittsburgh's deal honestly might have been one of the best ones on the table. And the other thing I've heard is that Sidney Crosby played a huge role in Malkin coming back to Pittsburgh. And Crosby really wanted Malkin back and, was talking to him a lot throughout this process. And at the end of the day, they decide to keep the gang all together. And overall, again, like I said, I'm not surprised by that. And I think that, for these three guys, they've played their entire careers in Pittsburgh. And I think they want to play their entire careers in Pittsburgh, no matter how long that goes. So if we look at Evgeni Malkin here, he's 35 years old. He'll be actually turning 36 in the end of July. So he's getting up there. This contract is going to run, through until he's turning 40. So this is probably going to keep Malkin in Pittsburgh for the rest of his NHL career. He's still a good player, a really good player, not just a good player. He's still a great player, despite his age. He had 42 points in 41 games played last season. Now, obviously, games played, that's kind of become a little bit of a question. He has had some injury issues. He's getting older. So health is definitely a bit of a concern for Malkin. But there is absolutely no doubt that when he is healthy, Evgeni Malkin is still a great top six center in the NHL. And, obviously, Crosby and Malkin, that 1-2 punch in Pittsburgh that they've had for so many years now, they want to keep that as that 1-2 punch, and they are doing that. He's over a point per game in his playoff career. He had 6 points in 7 playoff games this past season in the first-round series against the Rangers. Obviously, Pittsburgh lost that series, but Malkin still had a very good series, and he played very well. Almost 1,200 career points. Depending on how healthy he can stay this coming season, he's got a real shot to hit 1,200 career points this coming season. And he's 19 games short of 1,000 in his career, so he's very likely to hit 1,000 games this coming season as well. And as you can see, this guy's been a consistent high-producing player for the Pittsburgh Penguins. He spent his entire career from 2006 all the way through last year with Pittsburgh. It only makes sense for him to continue with the Penguins. Many 70-plus point seasons. He's had, some 100-point seasons mixed in there where he's really gone off, but just such a consistently great player for Pittsburgh. And yes, he's getting a little bit older, but Pittsburgh really seems like they're going to live and die with this core group, with Crosby, Malkin, Letang as their cornerstones. and they're going to keep that group together until, until it's over, until these guys are retiring and getting out of the league. So, Malkin was the last one. Letang signed earlier in the offseason. Crosby's still under contract. Malkin was the one that was kind of the biggest question mark as to whether or not he would be back. And it was an 11th hour deal, but Evgeni Malkin is back with the Pittsburgh Penguins. So, all in all, again, I'm not overly surprised by this. It would have been really interesting had he hit the open market to see, where he would have ended up. But even though it's a new management group now in Pittsburgh with Hextall and Burke, I just couldn't see any of those three guys playing on a different team. They're just so synonymous with the Pittsburgh Penguins. And Pittsburgh's still a playoff level team. I think that's one of the biggest differences where, if Pittsburgh was in, say, like Chicago's area where, they're just stripping it down to completely rebuild, then it wouldn't make sense to keep all of these guys. I did the video yesterday about Chicago needing to trade Kane and Taves because they're in a very different spot than where Pittsburgh's at. Pittsburgh is still a playoff level team and still a team that could potentially go on a playoff run and contend. So I think, it makes a lot more sense for a team that's still competitive in trying to win in the postseason to keep players like this around, where it wouldn't make sense for Malkin and Letang and all these guys to stay if Pittsburgh wasn't going anywhere, but they're still a good team. So I don't see them playing in a different uniform. I think as long as Pittsburgh's still competitive, they're going to want to be in Pittsburgh. And those three guys have done it together for, basically their entire careers. So I just think it makes sense for them to want to stay together as well. So everybody's back now for the Pens. Letang signed, Malkin signed, and the crew stays together for the foreseeable future and what's probably going to be the rest of their NHL careers. So that's what I've got on Pittsburgh re-signing Evgeni Malkin. He will not be a free agent. He will not be going to the Capitals, as so many rumors came up about him possibly going there. And he's going to stay with Crosby and Letang in Pittsburgh. So that's what I've got on that, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully, we'll talk to you soon. And with that, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our merchandise store, membership, and donations are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be talking to you very, very soon. Happy Free Agency Day.